If you think you're the biggest Skibidi Toilet fan, then you're wrong, kiddo. I'm the biggest Skibidi Toilet fan there is. No, I'm not even the biggest fan. I'm the freaking expert. I wrote the book on Skibidi Toilets, and I know all the lore like the back of my ear. So today, I'm going to reveal something about Skibidi Toilets that you have never heard before. And I truly do mean that. But before I do, we need to go back in time to 1059 BCE, when King Wei of the Zhou dynasty claimed that his ruling power and authority was directly dictated by heaven. Now, he and his successors were known as the Son of Heaven, and this title would grant them the position of head of the royal family, the nobility, the state, the judiciary, and religious hierarchy. Now, of course, everyone knows what Skibidi Toilet is all about. Of course, I do as well, given I am the resident expert of all Skibidi Toilet lore. For the plebeians, however, Skibidi Toilet is a YouTube short series that showcases a seemingly endless conflict between the Skibidi Toilets and an alliance of cameramen, speakermen, and TV men, with some of these groups having female counterparts. The key difference between the alliance and the Skibidi Toilets is control. The Alliance does not seem to have any form of central control and instead relies purely on cooperation in just defeating the Skibidi Toilets. On the other hand, the Skibidi Toilets appear to have one unified leader, the G-Man Toilet. This is a very important detail because the G-Man is seemingly the most powerful and seemingly unkillable Skibidi Toilet. This powerful position appears to also give it great influence, with episodes showing it seemingly acting as a leader to other Skibidi Toilets. It's not entirely clear whether G-Man is granted this position of power purely by his abilities or through religious means. It's unknown what religion the Skibidi Toilets practice to begin with, but in episode 10 it's revealed that the Skibidi Toilets do in fact believe in a higher power. Whether or not this is G-Man himself or some omnipotent being is unknown, meaning it is likely that the religious hierarchy in the Skibidi Toilet falls upon the G-Man. Given the G-Man Toilet's importance as a leader of seemingly the nobility, state, judiciary, and seemingly religious hierarchy, it is fairly easy to state that the G-Man is in fact the Son of Heaven. He has been granted the mandate of heaven and uses his power to lead the Skibidi Toilets. However, the mandate of heaven is simply not just granted once for life, it has to be earned and kept. Menchu stated that, "The people are of supreme importance. The altars of soil and grain come next. Last comes the ruler. That is why he who gains the confidence of the multitudinous people will be emperor. When a local lord endangers the altars of soil and grain, he should be replaced." This simply states that those who possess the mandate of heaven must use it for the good of the people and showcase their abilities or strengths. Otherwise, they risk losing that mandate. From an objective viewpoint, the G-Man Toilet does appear to accomplish this goal. In multiple episodes, the G-Man Toilet is seen fighting alongside his forces against the Alliance, and will oftentimes lead the charge against their enemies. It's readily apparent that the G-Man Toilet has great respect for the lives of his troops, thus validating Menchu's ideas. Now, I get it. I know you're asking, why is this important exactly? Well, it's important because this serves a lesson in history and leadership. Skibidi Toilet originated from one video of a toilet with the male 07 head model from Half-Life 2 singing the Skibidi song remix with heavily exaggerated facial expressions. Of course, to the layman this seems like nothing at all, just a harmless gag that doesn't have any meaning, at least on the surface. However, like the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, such a simple action can cause such an insane level of strife and pain across the world. For Ferdinand, it led to one of the worst, if not the worst, global conflict in human history. Much the same, this simple singing toilet led to an enormous conflict that seemingly wiped out all of the human race and demoted Earth to being an eternal battlefield between Skibidi Toilets and bizarre human hybrids. Skibidi Toilet is not just an analogy for the mandate of heaven, it represents the toils and horrors of war in an easily digestible format. The vast majority of Skibidi Toilet content is able to convey a powerful message without any dialogue whatsoever, just simply actions. It shows and tries to educate us on why war is bad, and how conflict drives people to do the worst things imaginable. And for that, we should actually be thanking Da Fuck Boom for his beautiful and inspiring work. Of course, unironically, this is all bullcrap, but hey, It is the individual that applies meaning to art. Well, thanks for watching. I hope that you didn't learn anything, but have instead earned the ability to understand that Skibidi Toilet is deep, and will forever leave us with questions about our own morality and ethics as a society. Now, before I go, unironically, I will say that there is something very fascinating about how this series evolved. I watched every single episode of the series thus far so that I could genuinely be educated on this topic, and honestly, I found myself being very intrigued, mostly because of how the quality of the story and the content itself improves dramatically over time. And honestly, as a young adult, I can sort of see the appeal to anyone at any age. There did come a point while watching all the episodes that I kind of forgot about the absurdity of what this series is. I mean, I forgot that the primary antagonists of this series are toilets with human heads that only make sounds from the Skibidi song remix, which is somewhat bizarre to myself, but simultaneously impressive that the series can accomplish this. Alright, like the video, subscribe, do something like that because we've got some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline.